Hey, this is Kirk Windstein of Down, Crowbar, and Kingdom of Sorrow. This is Lesson Alley.
What's up, everybody? This is Lesson Alley. Thanks for tuning in. This episode, we're going to talk style and substance with my man Kirk Windstein.
Good to see you again, brother. As always.
How you living?
Living large, baby. Doing good.
Let's talk about it. You have an unbelievable pedigree. Crowbar, Down, now Kingdom of Sorrow. Explain to people how you get that southern style, that feel, man. What is it? And how come nobody can do it like you do?
Well, thank you, number one. But I don't know. I mean, it's just, we're broad. I'm older, which I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm 46 years old. I started playing guitar in 1978. So I mean, Ace Frehley was my first real guitar idol. And I mean, I grew up on 70s rock. Van Halen, of course, blew my hair off. That's why I'm bald. But I mean, even that was just soulful and grooving and just good time, melodies and great music. And I don't know, man. I grew up, with all the New Orleans bands, that whole sound down there. And it's always been my goal has always been longevity, which thankfully I've been able to do it. I was never interested in being some big rock star, flash in the pan thing, or making a bunch of money and go start my own business, and then not really playing music anymore. This is what I love to do. So I mean, I've been blessed. I'm really fortunate to be in 3 bands and tour, the world, and I'll stay busy playing music. Which outside of my daughter and my lady, that's my life. So it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just think I've always, it's always been so important to me to be original, which I feel, even though, none of my bands are super huge, we don't sound like anybody else. They're all individual. They have their own sound and their own style. I don't like it these days when new bands will be like, what do y'all sound like? Oh, we sound just like this. It's like, no, you're not supposed to sound. You're supposed to take your influences and learn from them and then create your own from there, So I think that's kind of, if I have a secret, that's all it is really trying to be original and create my own thing,
So it's a conscious choice every time you step into a new situation.
Absolutely. I don't want to, we don't change with the times with any of my bands. We don't, if I write something and it sounds too much like, it reminds me too much of something else, I can't do it. It's like, dude, it's too close. People straight up rip off riffs now, just
shameless.
Yeah, and then don't, and unfortunately, the kids don't really care. It's just like, it's crazy, man. But at least whether you love me, hate me, in any of my bands, at least we're not doing what everybody else is doing, and I like that. So.
Awesome. How do you write? Are you still? Are you getting on a cassette player? You got a studio? Did you go Pro Tools?
Still cassette, dude. Got a thing about that big that holds I bought it from Best Buy. It's like a little voice, machine, but it runs on cassette tapes. I went to Walgreens, bought a 10-pack for like $5, and I wrote the last Crowbar record on that. That's what sits in my end table drawer, and I pull it out. Got down, riffs, Crowbar riffs, Kingdom of Sorrow riffs, just some shit that's just mellow, whatever. But I bought the big home studio crap and digital and all, and I'm too old school. I just do a cassette tape. I hear all the rest of the shit in my head. I hear the harmonies, I hear the drums, I hear all that, when I'm writing. So, thankfully for me, it comes pretty simple, pretty simple. Man.
So is it easy for you once you get it kind of down on tape to go back to it later and go, okay, here's what I was doing, here's what I'm going to do?
Yeah, the only thing I do, a lot of times I'll start a riff. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, bop on the down, a lot of times I go 1, 2, 3, whatever. So I use a metronome, an old metronome that my mom had on our piano when I was a kid. You wind it up and it, clicks, tick-tocks back and forth. You set the speed. I always put the metronome, and then I'll go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and that way I'll count myself in, because I have written riffs in the past without some kind of metronome or something, and couldn't figure out what the groove is supposed to be.
Okay.
Most of my shit's groove oriented, you know. So
when you first started playing, before you ever got into recording, did you notice a change in your playing from the time when you started to the time you started recording your first disc?
Just more mature is the only way. Every time you touch the guitar, it's, one more time than you've touched it before. So, you know, I mean, I've always wanted to be, you know, a songwriter. You know,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not by any means. I mean, you know, if people like, you know, Jamie, for instance, a lot of, you know, kids, whatever, like me and Pepper and I from down, you know, for instance, just we won the Riff Lord Award at the Metal Hammer Awards, Golden Gods or whatever, Metal Hammer thing over in the UK when we were over there. Which that to us meant, you know, we didn't win the Shredder Award, and you know, and more power to the shredders that have. I don't have the patience to sit there and try to do that, you know. I've just always been interested in writing songs. Like that's what I like. I like riffs in songs, you know. So
Yeah, it shows in your playing, man. I think you're remarkably consistent, and when I think about you, I think about the bends, the slurs that you do.
right, that's my whole style. You know?
It's like a fingerprint. The slurs and the slides are unreal, man. You could stay forever and practice that stuff. It's always you.
Right. I mean, like when you watch the Iommi's vibrato, it's like, dude, it's just that's what he does, you know. I mean, Dime's whammy shit would be his thing, you know. It's
Yeah.
like whatever, man. All, you know, not that I'm a great, but I mean, those kind of guys, they have a signature thing, you know, that's theirs, and that's, you know, that's kind of all what the bends and slurs and slides and you know, ghost notes and you know, the slow chugging stuff with the bends and all that, you know, a lot of that stuff. Not really many people were doing it back in the late '80s when I started, and tuning to B as well, a drop tuning thing. Now they tune to like G and shit. I'm like, you know what? That's plenty low enough for me. So it's all cool, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. How many hours a day, or how often do you spend with a guitar?
I made a conscious effort now because when I was young, I would literally get off the school bus and run home to play, or in this, you know, I would come home from work and rehearse with, you know, my band in the garage, and I'd play, you know, I'd jump in the shower, make a sandwich, and play until the guys start, you know, shut up for rehearsal, and then we jam for a couple hours, you know. And when you get older and you have, you know, I got the house, I have a daughter, you know, with my ex-wife, and who's a sweetie. The ex-wife and of course my daughter, but you know, we have a great relationship and we're still a family in our own right. And I have, you know, my new girl Kate, who I've been with for 2.5 years. You know, I have a house, you know, my father and my sister live with us as well, and you know, I have a family, you know. And it's like, you know, I have my dudes at home, you know. I like doing my thing at home. I'm rattling on a bit, but the point is, I've now made a conscious effort to have a guitar. We have a hangout room, me and my girl, and I have a guitar on a stand at all times next to my chair. So no matter what, when I'm watching TV, at least I'm playing now.
Okay.
And now when she's off at work, I'll get up and run errands and cut the grass, do the house cleaning, whatever, you know. And then the afternoon time is my time, and that's me. I turn off the TV, I turn off the cell phone, all that shit. I sit by myself upstairs in my jam room, and that's when I, you know, I write. But I don't practice scales and shit like that. I write riffs, you know. It's not, you know. And I mean, when it's time, like with Down, I mean, Crowbar in Kingdom, Crowbar's got a crap load of harmonies, but we don't have like solos. But with Down, you know, me and Pepper split the solos maybe 50-50. And, you know, that's when, you know, I'll kind of write my solo or whatever, I'll work on some stuff while we're in the studio doing that. But for the most part, you know, I don't sit there and just practice, you know, scales and running and stuff like that. It's never, maybe that's why I'm not, you know, that great of a player in that sense. I'm more of the feel kind of thing and the melody kind of thing. That what interests me is creating a riff, you know. So
Cool. So, riffs, songs, consistency, focus.
leads to longevity.
That's the man. Do you want to tell them where to reach you on the internet?
Absolutely. All you gotta do is send me a message on Facebook. It is me, Kirk Windstein. It's really me, but I got too many friends. If you message me in my message board thing, I will add you on, and I use it as a marketing tool, really. You know, I mean, I do chat with my friends, whatever, but I'll let you know everything that's going on. We have down-noah.com. Down's got the MySpace. King Massaro has it, of course. Crowbar has it. We got Crowbar. The Twitter is at Crowbar Rules. I've been trying to get into that a little bit, and you know, Jamie's taught me a lot on that, in that, you know, sense. So really, you know, it's easy to find me, and I'm very active in promoting the bands and meeting the fans and talking. You know, met a lot of people. Me and Kate, my girl, both met a lot of people from all around the world that are friends now. You know, that I look forward to playing in Belgium because there's this guy coming out. Or when to be in the UK, I can't wait to see Jess and Matt. You know, we met friends like that we keep in touch, and it really helps too, man. When I'm on the other side of the world, it doesn't feel. I have friends over there now. It doesn't feel like I'm all the way, across the
isolated.
ocean. Yeah. So it's not like it's a lot. It helps out, man. So I'm definitely active. I'm not hard to find.
Thanks.
Later. Appreciate it. All right, my brother. Thank you, man.
One last circle pit for the king of the dead. When the blood goes, when the